players as the Battle of the Barcodes begins. We'll just bring in another one of these. Get that into position here. Obviously not sleep though, it is Ein, so let me just fix that. Perfect. This one's a little bit smaller than this one, isn't it? Now I've made it too small, I can't actually move them. There we go. Alright guys, so Ein versus Trap here, our third match of today's Leifeng Cup, number 147. To the bottom right hand side, we're kicking things off with our red Protoss player. From Generic Green Rings, it is Trap. And to the upper left, our pink Terran player is going to be Ein. Part of X Team still, if I'm not mistaken. So, as we head into game number 1, Ein looked very dominant, very much so in control of the TVP we saw from him earlier. So, yeah, I mean, we've seen him kind of have a pretty good time against Maxside. Let's see how he does against Trap, who is, I mean, arguably, definitely a stronger opponent than Maxside. So, we'll see how Ein does here. Now, Ein's been impressive lately. He's been doing very good in, like, Duo Star Masters. He's been doing very good in a lot of online events, really. So, I'm intrigued to see how he kind of plays this out and see if he can maybe give Trap a little bit of a run for his money, as we see Probe and SCV just kind of a little bit of a skirmish here on the low ground. I'm going to get ready to expand in a couple of moments. It's just a Reaper expand, although he actually drops the second racks already, which is interesting. Maybe just because he got pulled away from this command center for a couple of moments. It's interesting though, second rack's on the way down. Now Reaper's about to pop out. We'll see what the follow-up is, if it's just a reactor. Yes, it is. So just a very fast second racks then, as he was being kind of delayed on the CC, on the natural, I guess, momentarily. So we see this Reaper just going to have a little bit of a scatter around, try and figure out what's going on and what is happening. So Reaper is just looking to see what's going on. So Reaper's just going to check around, and we're going to see the probe just hiding away to the bottom left. So that's what the Reaper's trying to find that probe before it can come in and potentially, drop a couple of pylons here and apply some pressure with the photon overcharge. The mothership core is moving across the map, so it looks as though we are going to have a little bit of pressure coming in. That probe will start moving back into position as well. Reaper actually going to be kept back here to try and take down the probe when possible. But the Adept coming forwards too. And, well, let's see how this is going to go. We do have 2 racks up, so 3 Marines being made at a time. Feels as though it should kind of be plenty, as we're going to see this Adept finds the Reaper. Reaper has to pull back straight away. Adept just get pushed back by a grenade. 3 Marines and the Reaper here going to come in to assist this Adept already. And actually this Adept taking a lot of damage. Reaper pulls back. And he's going to deflect this just by straight up having enough units to push this back straight away. Although this probe is still going to try and find a way in. And it's going to try and a way to get a pylon down. But there's just so many Marines here that realistically, this is not going to happen. I mean, these pylons are going to die. Actually, one doesn't even get cancelled. The other one does. Trap realizing this isn't going to work out. And yeah, I mean, now we just see him sort of, he's still trying to keep some pressure on the map. The Marine's actually going to start chasing this mothership core away, so going to actually have to recall back home before he loses that. And Ein, well, he's forced to recall, he's forced some energy, so he's going to keep on attacking across towards the bottom right-hand side. So he's going to keep on moving here. Now, there's a Widowmine on the way up back at home. He's also going into a starport, so probably some kind of Widowmine drop follow-up. As these Marines, they're just looking to see if they can find anything. I don't think they want to go too far forwards. I mean, there will still be reinforcements coming out at home for Trap to help clean up this sort of little bit of a Marine push. But if you can, like, cancel the... I mean, you might be able to get a few probes if this pylon's not finished. And it's definitely something which his opponent was sort of just missing out on here. As this pylon photon overcharge protected, comes down, and Marines are pushed away. So he's able to protect it in the end. The Marine's going to stick around, but with an Immortal about to pop out, there'll be enough units for Trap to, really push this back now. Although Widowmine coming over, he's going to keep on reinforcing this. So the counterattack here from Ein really looking to try and get some damage done as he moves forwards. And, well, Adept already being targeted. We're going to see that Immortal taking a little bit of damage too. We're going to see a Stalker warping in. Can't kite backwards just yet if it's warping in, of course, but it is going to survive. Ein's going to get the Adept in the end, and not quite the Stalker as these probes get pulled forwards. And still a little bit of mine out the front, which he has to deal with at some point. More Prism is going to be on the way out here just in a moment or two. And you do have... should have a medevac, right there it is. A medevac coming across with a mine and a few more Marines. But a man going to unburrow from the front here and going to move towards the third base instead. And he's actually going to be able to block this for a little while. So I'm going to be able to block this third base for a little while. Going to be a little bit of a nuisance And that does just slow down Trap just a little bit as Immortal and Stalker move across the map in the War Prism. We see this medevac coming in towards the natural expansion. Well, there's not a lot to defend behind the mineral line here, so this Riddermine and these Marines have a lot of potential to get some damage done. Ooh, nice pull away there. And actually gets the probe to do a little bit of splash damage onto the Marines as well, as we see. The pylon going to get killed off. This War Prism still coming across the map. Oh, Widowmine picks off a Stalker though in the center, so that's not ideal. As well, this is kind of awkward where, you know, this Terran army is doing quite well. There's a decent amount of defense over here. There's a Liberator to chase down that War Prism as well if needed. And this is going pretty well so far, I would say. As we're going to see Blink coming into play now though. And so we're going to see the medevac going to be chased back. Another Widowmine going to go off. No Blink available. Medevac going to come back in. He's actually picked off a couple of these Stalkers. So Stalker's going down. He lifts up a couple of Marines. He repositions them. And we'll get another couple of probe kills here at the very end. This medevac is now about to go down. And these Stalkers will be, these Marines will be dealt with momentarily. So in the end, Trap's going to clean this up. But it's a little bit messy. He wasn't quite all there to begin with. As you see, these Marines do fall. And these Stalkers just kind of blinking back when they get a little bit damaged. As we do see the War Prism trying to get damage done as well up to this side of the map. But just get pushed away. So these... This War Prism is getting kind of pushed away, and I still think Iron's had a pretty good start. He's put on a lot of pressure, he's forced a lot of lost mine time, he's delayed this third base for a tremendous amount of time. As you're going to see these Stalkers coming in, they will clean that up. And Widowmine does fall here, so Widowmine goes down. We're going to see another Liberator set up at the front just to help defend. I mean, this War Prism has still been attempting to get something done throughout the game so far, as we see a Dark Shrine now coming into play. So DT is going to come in here from Trap and look to try and get something done, as he also looks to push towards the front. He adds on 3 extra gateways, still no sign of a third base actually. He was going to take that initially, but Maui might be changing his mind. Nice blink away to deal with that Widowmine at the front, and SCV out front as well. Going to see this army continue to move forwards. And there's a Liberator towards the front here. There's a Bio army with Stim. I feel as though there's plenty here to realistically fight. He's just going to Stim out. He's going to go for this. The force fields are... they're sort of like... They're pretty good actually in the end, I think, as the bunker going to get repaired. Without further force fields though, I think he does have to pull away from this. I mean, a couple more he's been warped in. He realizes that the force fields are an important part of this right now. I'm just going to see that bunker just kind of sitting there, and just going to see this observer going in towards the main base as we see the bunker still just set up nice and safely. We're going to see him trying to engage into this once again. He's going to try and salvage the bunker. Feels as though he doesn't need it. I mean, with the Liberator here, with the amount of bio that he's got, I think he's probably right. He's actually going to land his third base in position now as well. That's the confidence which Iron has right here. As we see, I mean, to be fair, it's only really Stalkers and 1 Immortal, as we see. I mean, we could see a little bit of a Stim Force now. We're going to see the Liberator reposition. Big blink forwards onto the Liberator. Stalker's going to take a lot of damage to this bio, though. So a lot of damage being done there, as we see this army going to keep on moving forwards. Another warping comes in, though. Some SCVs going to be pulled into this. I still feel as though Iron should have enough to kind of push this back. Just going to use a few SCVs to tank for a little while, make sure his bio is going to be safe. He's pulling back once again, going to re-engage once more. And really keep on pushing this back. A couple of Widowmines in the back aren't really adding anything to this. 8 workers have gone down. Iron's still in a worker lead, as he is going to have enough to push this back in the end. Only a few Stalkers get out of there, the Immortal and the War Prism as well. But Iron's in a pretty good position. A couple of DTs warping in though, and this is where things could change up, because right now, well, actually at the natural there's a lot of turrets, not in the main base though. So he needs to try and get that detection up and rolling in his other bases, or have scans saved, which he has. Well, he has one on the third base. Whether that's intentional or whether he's just not realised it yet is the question. As them DTs start heading towards the main. Big attack across the map at the same time though from Ein. So he's going to attack across the map here while looking to hopefully defend from these DTs. And he is going to pull his army back. Okay, well, if he'd moved across, he maybe could have got a lot done. But these DTs are going to distract him long enough, and, well, Trap's going to get a lot more damage done. You're going to see a Sky coming in the main, but, well, there's that lift up on the War Prism, gets them out of there. He's actually going to keep on attacking across the map, so he isn't going to allow himself to be distracted for too long. As we're going to see this army coming over, there's going to be a force field available. That's going to make a pretty big difference here. As these DTs, well, now they're not being dealt with. You see the force field coming down. I kind of look at this, I still don't really think that there's enough here for Trap to really defend. You can see the lift up, he's going to unload off to the side and go up the third base, it seems. Third base has to lift up from Iron, as he has a lot of army back at home as well to try and help deflect here and continue to deflect. Another turret goes down towards the third, as these Stalkers going to find the medevacs. Well, that's a pretty good trade. That's going to definitely hurt things here. We're going to see another medevac going down. Big mistakes by Iron. I kind of feel he's backed away from the fight. He could have maybe done some damage in and then just opened himself to kind of, you know, he's allowed his opponent to kind of kill off a couple of medevacs when he didn't really ever need to load up and drop from those medevacs in the first place, you know. So he is going to trade against a few Stalkers here in the main base just to clean up, and I see quite a few of them Stalkers actually going down. It's a pretty efficient drop, all said and done. Just the fact that he lost a couple of units before this obviously doesn't help out too much, as we see this Marauder going to town on this Adept. Now, turret is on the way up at the third base. It looks as though Iron will be able to stabilize. And, well, I mean, to be fair, 3 base against 3 base still. 42 against 45 workers with Triple Mule. That's still looking good for Iron. And we're also sort of seeing... like the army supplies being fairly even as well. So we're going to see once again just an attack across the map. There is a +1 upgrade advantage, but that would be +1/+1 upgrade advantage for Iron, and that's definitely going to help him out in this sort of fight, especially if he can sit on this high ground and sit in the concave against his opponent. Big stim, preemptive stim even, picks off a single adept so far. Guardian Shield going to be popped here as he pulls back, and getting rid of that sentry would be a really nice way to start, but not targeting down just yet. Just fighting against these adepts towards the front, pulling back while the Guardian Shields fade away, and we are going to see these units continuing to be pushed away. Once again, workers going down. He's going to clean up a good amount of this gateway force. The Stalker's blinking back to here, but the Immortals are going to be caught. There's no Warp Prism to evacuate them this time, so the Immortals are going to go down. And again, Iron loses a lot of workers, but has a lot of army supply advantage now to maybe kind of do something with. We see a couple of Liberators coming across the map as well, and that's problematic having lost so many Stalkers here. The lack of Stalkers is really going to hurt when these Liberators come in and start sieging up as well. As Iron going to stim forwards once more, going to catch another Adept. Mothership Core going to try and move position to the third base, but well, guess what? That Pylon going to go down very quickly. So Pylon goes down, the Liberators siege up. This third base is in trouble. Widowmine going to try and burrow. Gets turned away. Mothership Core's going to go down on a lot of energy as well. Doesn't even get Time Warp down here. And this third base is in trouble. There's no way the Protoss player here can fight against this. He doesn't have the army supply. And we're going to see Iron, another stim, very low on health on a lot of these units. Will he get the third base still? It looks as though he will. It's going to drop down at the very end of this. A couple of Widowmines come into play as well. Them Liberators still in the skies, being a huge help. And Trap is going to type out GG. Iron is going to take game number 1 of this best of 3 and seeing how this goes. So, I believe player names in the correct places. Yes, they are. Let's do this. To the bottom right is going to be our blue Protoss player. Let's see if you're cheering on Trap. That's better now. This is so much smoother. Alright, to the bottom left it is Ein. That's what happens when you don't have the Chinese stream running in the background. Alright, so as we set up into this, we'll be having a look to see just how things are going to go, see what's going to be happening over the next few moments here. So it's going to be seeing SCVs on the way out on this main base. It's kind of funny because Trap's one the last game is Terran. He's like question mark, and he was still building SCVs as though they were going to like make him play Terran or something. So so yeah. It was kind of funny, but we regame now. Obviously, we're in game. I can just lead this 1-0 in this best of 3. I mean, what a result it would be for him if he went 2-0 in this group. Then Reality versus Trap. I mean, Trap would have the potential to end up kind of 1-2 in the group. Depends on the result against Reality. That would be crazy. That'd be really crazy. As we see this probe just coming in, nibbling away at a couple of these SCVs. And it's going to be seeing that reactor coming down for Ein. So just a reactor at the front here to begin with. I'm going to see that probe just taking a little bit of fire here. So probe going to be pushed away. And it's going to pull off away over to the right hand side of the map once again. Natural CC comes down here from Ein. So natural command center coming down. We're going to see that reactor is on the way up. And the orbital about to finish for Ein as well. So orbital about to finish for Ein. And yeah, we're going to just see the kind of the Cybernetics go on the way back at home for Trap. So really kind of just a standard opening here. Not really much to shout about. Last game was interesting. Because there was a second Rex that came down quite early. And it allowed kind of Ein to kind of push back the initial pressure quite nicely. And actually led to Ein taking a very good position in the game. So it's kind of interesting. See how this game goes. No second Rex just yet. Factory is down though. And do you see that CC just over halfway built? Robot facility on the way down now from Trap as well. So robot facility on the way down. And there's a second barracks too. Bit of a delayed second Rex though, so not kind of the fastest second Rex you could see. Only one gas though out of our Terran players. We're going to see him starting to take down these rocks. Obviously not looking for any kind of frontal aggression anytime soon. Maybe just drop base play in the early stages. We're going to see this couple of well, these destructible rocks going to be rock towers going to be collapsed. they're going to fall down and block off this sort of bottom left-hand corner of the map for the Terran player, and basically means that, I mean, what can kind of come in here for a Pros play then? Well, obviously Stargate play can come in, so Stargate play, Blink play, but yeah, Warp Prism play. I mean, there's ways to get past it, or you can just kill the rocks too, but not super early at least. As you see, this probe actually going to sit out on the map. The rocks never actually got killed off here, as we're going to see as the first, the first Marines is pushing over, and well, no pylon on the low ground just yet, so these Marines actually have a little bit of potential. Now there's Robo coming in early, is going to allow for the Warp Prism to start coming up, so going to go into kind of a little bit of a push here, a little bit of aggression himself, as this pylon's just not ready. I mean, there's no units here. Straight away just coming in, this pylon going to get cancelled, and I mean, there's a single probe left on this mineral line, actually another one pops as well, so a couple of workers killed. Next is going to start taking some hits. This probe still sat up here, I mean, the Warp Prism coming out, we're going to see a Stalker being built, but none of this is coming in just yet, and these Marines are having a pretty good time controlling this natural, and Trap is in a lot of trouble, loses the pylon, again, this time no cancel, and, well, with the medevac on the way up, the mine drop's starting to come in, he has to find a way to defend his natural very soon. Now, a couple of Stalkers starting to get warped in here, these Marines continuing to do damage. Here come the Stalkers, he's going to start pushing these back though. This low ground is kind of very powerful, you know, the little bit of a concave he's set up in, is it going to be enough to really kill off this base? I mean, if he can, that's incredible. Right now he's just getting very low. There's a depth going to go down as he pulls back away, and we do see medevac coming in. A little bit of a drop in the main base, but Mothership Core is dealt with that pretty easy. 7 workers go down though. I guess that's Widowmine actually getting a little bit of damage done there, so apologies, we actually missed that coming in. As we see another medevac is thinking about what he wants to do. As whoa, he actually ends up killing the natural because he's busy distracting his opponent in the main, so the natural expansion for Trap falls, and all of a sudden we're going to see these Marines being cleaned out, but Trap has no natural expansion. He can counterattack, but well, he's got to get past these rocks, so that Warp Prism going to have to come into play, and well, this is the sort of situation where as a Terran player, you're going to be loving life. He starts up a Liberator behind this. What a startup here. This kind of build which Iron does is just a complete counter to what Trap is, what Trap's trying to do. These Stalkers can't get over here just yet. They're going to need to be Warp Prismed over, so that's going to take a little bit of extra time, and this is all time, which obviously helps out Iron massively, as we see Trap is going to try and re-expand back at home. A Marauder out here though, a medevac to help heal. Widowmine's going to come into position. The Liberator's on the way to help out very soon. I mean, these Stalkers have to try and work some magic in the next few moments. I mean, Blink is up, so they shouldn't really lose any. He's got a good chance to get a lot of pressure kind of going here with the Liberator coming in. Surely, I mean, what can you really expect to achieve? We're going to see him blinking away from that Widowmine shot. A couple more Stalkers coming in. This Liberator, though, just holds such a good, strong position at the front. Some SCVs pulled just to make sure he survives. And we're going to see these Stalkers. They're going to blink up into the main base now. We're going to see him nearly getting the medevac. Not quite, though. And Widowmine is quite dangerously far forwards as well. We're going to see him continue to push this away. But now we see the blinks down to the low ground. And that's when, of course, the Frost player starts to trade very, very nicely indeed. 12 workers being picked away at here, so these Stalkers are actually starting to do their job, as we see. Blake forwards, but Widowmine goes off, gets a few of them Stalkers, so kills the Liberator, loses a few Stalkers to the mine. We're going to see SCVs being pulled in once again. Hein just trying to hold off this counter-aggression. One bunker could have just changed this entire game. I'm so surprised he didn't make a bunker, especially after he kills off the Nexus. Like, killing off the Nexus, I mean, just build 2 bunkers and you're completely safe and you're in a fantastic position, but now Hein is really in a kind of a crazy good spot. As we're going to see this blink up, or is he? Because there is a Widowmine there, so if he blinks up, you'll have to target that down very quickly. Stim about halfway done, but still a ways away. As we see Hein just trying to keep up with this. Another Liberator coming into play, Widowmine. Just going to blink away from that. Doesn't actually set it off, though. As we see the units just sort of collecting together here. Online once again. Trapgus, I mean, he has got his Nexus up back at home once again. Nice blink away. That medevac not going down just yet. Needs to get them SCVs to repair it. Doesn't want to lose the medevac. Another Liberator going to come into play as well. And again, just another Liberator coming into play. We see the Stalker seeing a little bit more damage and then blinking back once more. All said and done here, I'd say for the most part that Iron has sort of held this off. But Trap has definitely done some damage to sort of begin pull himself back into this. You see the scanner try and get the Observer, but doesn't quite find it. As we're going to be seeing the Liberator just going to try and reposition here. Or might just go across the map. I mean, as Stim finishes up, he might feel as though he's comfortable enough to kind of deal with these units no problem. You see the Stalkers starting to just blink back here one at a time. And, well, they're going to have to find a way to blink away, I guess, up to this high ground over to this side. It's probably his exit route here. And he doesn't have to go to the high ground. He can blink into the watchtower. So he does that. And we're going to see these units starting to push through the bottom side of the map. Now, this starport hasn't been building any medevacs, it feels, for a while. As the Liberator comes in on the other side, naturally we're going to see these Stalkers out of position, obviously. They're not even going to be able to deal with this. The Trap losing some workers over here. 4 workers go down. Another Stalker being warped in. The Mothership Core coming in to try and help as well. Stalker comes in, you know, blink underneath the Liberator. As we're going to see these bio units beginning to push on through this bottom side of the map, and well, this is going to be the moment of truth. Does Trap have enough to really hold on against this bio force? Loving this warpism play at the other side of the map, so getting some damage done. Really going to force Ein into dealing damage here, otherwise he's going to be in a really tough position. As we're going to see, he's already kind of have to pull away from his natural, so Ein has to keep moving forwards. He has to keep looking for damage. He's only got 1 medevac with this army, though. And I feel that's one of the ways he's really, you know, one of the things he's really missed out on, the lack of, you know, he hasn't built new medevacs for a long time. As we're going to see a scan, and units start to move up here. Now this Liberator comes into position. Pylons are already being dealt with on this low ground. It looks as though, I mean, our Pros player was up on the high ground. Really out of position here. As we're going to see this Liberator coming into play. We're going to pop one of the barriers on the Immortals. We see a few units getting caught in force fields. And this group of bio, he needs more, he really does more than anything, just need more medevacs over here. This bio is going to get so low on health so quickly. We're going to see a Sentry being picked off here. The Liberator going to try and help out as well. Big blink forwards, Widowmine goes off. There's just not enough bio to keep on fighting, so I'm going to have to kind of regroup here a little bit. But his worker count is so low, 22 workers remain. I mean, we see Mules continue to drop down. He's a bit oversaturated, going to try and get back into play on his natural. You see Warpism play coming in, and a bunch more depths coming in now. I mean, the lack of medevacs over there meant that army just got so low in health. And that really didn't help him out at all. As we're going to see those adepts going to start shading on up in towards the main base here. So adepts shade on up in towards the main base. They're going to go into and commit here. But Widowmine's going to go off. Oh, he saves a few of them. As we're going to see Widowmine at the front still doing some damage as well. Ein actually comes back home. Down 14 workers. This isn't pretty. He actually kills the Warp Prism though. So that gives him a lot of potential to go across the map. He actually does now have a lot of medevacs here. So maybe now Ein does have the chance to move across and get something done. Let's see, you're going to see him loading up, going to go for a big drop, but doing this in front of the Observer is going to give surely Trap a good idea as to what is going on. This drop starts to move across the map. We're going to see that Widowmine cleaned up. He's not in position just yet. The Mothership Core's in the main base, but, well, this drop has potential. There he goes, starting to move this into position now. Again, just doing this right underneath an Observer, of course, is not ideal, as we're going to be seeing. He's starting to drop in, and well, actually, Trap isn't in the best of positions just yet, not straight away. As we're going to see him actually loading up and just going to back away from this, leaving the Widowmines over here. Immortal taking quite a bit of damage as we're going to see these units just unloading, maybe go for an attack towards the front. Another couple of medevacs maybe ready to come in towards the main base sometime soon. And Widowmine still left over here as we're just going to see another load up, and he's going to go back into the main, and Trap is thinking this attack's going into the natural, so back into the main we go, and these units are going to start unloading. Trap has to walk back in. So how much damage can be done here? This Mothership Core is going to be very much so in trouble. Chases down, and Immortal doesn't quite get it though. Just going to sit in the corner, pick off a gateway that's currently unpowered. Ein really needs to reinforce though. He's got so many units at home, which he's not actually bringing into this fight or bringing across the map at all to kind of help him out. So he's still down on workers by 13. He's not rebuilding workers very nicely or very easily or at all here. As we're going to see these Widowmines going off on a few of these adepts, blinking forwards. Doesn't get to any of the kind of super important medevacs that were full of units there. So picks off one, but that's about it. As well, Trap is still behind in army supply. There's them reinforcements finally coming across the map. Liberators too are the sort of units which really do start to make this very difficult to deal with. We'll see a few of the Widowmines going down. Still an upgrade lead as well for Ein though. Now there's a third base also built up here. You're going to see these Liberators going forwards. I mean, these Immortals already in a little bit of trouble. And oh my god, these Liberators are going to do so much damage. He's just going to try and move forwards out of this position. But these units are all trapped on the low ground and in a corner as well. Trap just GG'd out. He knows he doesn't have enough. Boom, 2-0.